those who have been following my channel, I recently made a video on Godzilla 1954 and how fantastically I thought that film had done overall, and I had a look through the timeline of Godzilla films and realised before I watched the next two Godzilla films, I needed to watch King Kong 1933. The next Godzilla movie in the Godzilla franchise is Godzilla Raids Again, which I will review at some point, but right now I need to get through King Kong, as in the third film, King Kong faces Godzilla in the most important rivalry probably in cinematic history. However, I had a really big problem with King Kong when I watched it a few days ago. It didn't really live up to the hype, and it wasn't just, oh, I have really high expectations because of Godzilla, or I'm just young so I think black and white is boring, because I'm not that petty and I give every single film a chance, and I believe that if a film is something worthwhile, I will watch it. But I did not like King Kong at all, but I'm going to explain why now. To explain my mixed opinions on the film, I feel like it's best for those who haven't seen it, I'm going to summarise it the best I can. The film abruptly starts with filmmaker Carl Denham going to the adventure boat that will be sailing the morning after, and he wants a pretty face for the pictures after his adventure to the island for publicity and attention. He ends up finding a lady, Anne, who he offers a job as she's attractive and extremely willing to join the trip. The next scenes are following aboard a ship where the final member of the cast is shown, this being John, a hard-shelled sailor who doesn't like having women on board. We also meet a few prominent faces aboard, like the racist stereotype Charlie. This is a common theme, by the way, in the film that you'll see: racism and sexism. The sailors eventually reach what is known as Skull Island, an island inhabited by what the sailors find to be a tribe of natives who are sacrificing a tribal woman to the god or creature labelled as Kong, which is guarded by a massive wall. The sailors disturb the ritual and ruin the sacrifice. The tribesmen request Anne, who is a golden woman worth more than any of the tribe's women, but to no avail, she isn't given, instead stolen aboard the ship, where Charlie states, "Just to break up the content a little, I'm going to talk about a little thing called Discord. If you didn't know, I recently put up a Discord server and it's dead because nobody joined. But why not join in anyway? We can make it a fun community, and I'm open for staff members and new ideas for the group. And this is all we need because it's dead, as repeated before. Thank you for listening, and here's more content. John, Carl, and the rest of the crew end up going to the island to search for Anne, but oh my god, she's been sent to be Kong's wife for some reason. Dun, dun, dun. The crew ends up going towards Kong through a big wooden gate with a pipe that probably won't fail. I'm going to skip most of the next part because it seems quite a lot the same. Kong kills a creature, and then another creature, kills a few sailors, and then gets attacked again. Anne gets rescued by John, and King Kong chases them through the forest, only reaching the gate as it's been locked, something a huge ape couldn't break through, 100%. Kong ends up breaking a lot, destroying mostly everything before being put asleep by gas bombs, and this stupid ass motherfucker taken back to New York for no fucking reason bar capitalism. And guess what? Kong escapes. Kong grabs Anne and pulls her up the Empire State Building in the most iconic shot in the film, before being shot at least 30 plus times before falling to his death in the road in front of the Empire State Building. This is where the film ends, with very, very little credits. Now, where to start? This movie contains some great scenes and I respect this for what it is, but there are so many better films from the 1930s, like Gone with the Wind and Dracula. This film feels like what it is was too much, and should have focused on more godly type manner, rather than the predator type aspect we were given, as it repeats itself so much that it puts me off from rewatching it. I watched this film twice after first watching it, and I feel like my opinion will be very controversial, so I'm going to quickly list my reasonings for this. The acting in this film was tremendous, from most of the cast, but I feel like the writing for their lines were extremely cheesy, and at most I didn't really add to most of the film, plus some of the most important characters like Carl Denham only had a few lines after Anne's kidnapping. I feel really ashamed but I feel like the only character I really liked was Charlie the Cook, and that was just because he was the funniest character, and probably the only reasonable character in the film. Well done, Victor 1. Now, there was nothing wrong with the little bit of stop motion now and then, but the version I watched, the original 1933 version, felt like the actors were slowed just due to make King Kong seem normal speed. This may have just been me or the version I saw, but it was extremely prevalent with Kong and the human scenes. I cannot hate on the stop motion though, because it's a classic just for that, and I'm hoping to get a figure of Kong so I can attempt to stop motion like this film. I'm probably going to get a bit too judgy here, but I think Godzilla has more charm. It may have just been the music. Akira Ifukube just couldn't be beaten by anyone. He's so good at what he does, and this film didn't really have something like that charm. I did feel like the camera work was better presented, but not by that much. I don't hate King Kong by any means, and I ain't gonna rush to watch the sequels. Maybe the Son of Kong, but because it's got Charlie in it. But they ain't for me, and I haven't seen the appeal. But realistically, did the film that costed $600,000 do good? Yeah, I don't see why not. It's one of the most popular films of all time, and I ain't gonna enjoy every single one that's released. And I know that the newer ones may attract a larger audience, but this one has a cultural relevance for media culture in general, and if you disagree, you're a damn fool otherwise. For all I complain, this film tried and it's wonderful and nothing else, but I ain't gonna watch it again. It can fuck right off. I didn't really have much to say for the video, just my feelings towards the film. It was mainly made for the next video, which is probably gonna be Godzilla Strikes Again, and then Godzilla vs. Kong, as it felt reasonable to explain my feelings and how I felt, as it's something that I'm interested in more than any other subject so far. And so far it's been good and actually welcomed into a community so far. And I'm going to try my hardest to create something. But if you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button and be a king and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Goodbye.